It is Sunday, which means it is Wily Tower Challenge time. And this week, I'm going to give you guys a little something extra. So rather than the typical 5-stage format I've been doing, we're going to double it up today. We're going to go medium. We're going to do 10 stages. And, you know, maybe we'll get something good. Maybe we'll get something crap. Well, only one way to really find out. So let's jump in, have some fun. Gonna go a little bit bigger today. This week we're gonna do 10 stages. Add R. Alright, keep it fairly simple. Alright, looks like also we are not getting any charge shot. That's fine, we don't need that. Dustman is one I wish was in this. Not gonna lie. Stupid net. I mean, ring boomerangs proved fairly useful in this one. Oh, I wouldn't necessarily say it's needed. Damn it! Alright, looks like we're at boss time. So who we fighting? Whoa. Let's see. Who we got? Whoa. Okay, bomb man. Nope. Woo. That one wasn't too bad. Alright, what we got next? Schwer-Muta RKS. Okay. What we're looking at. Keeping it fairly simple today. Got charge shot. Okay. Yep, it's a trap. I don't need it that bad. Alright. Well, which way should I go? Let's see what's going on this way. Well, we're not going that way, so we do have to go this way. It's trying to make me sweat a little. Oh. Okay. Got a little bit of a Metal Man homage here. Bro! Wow. I should have expected that. Damn it! Okay, let's see. Trying to make me sweat. Here we go. Good man. That's it. That's a, man, that was interesting. Alright, what we got next? Let's see, let's rock and roll. Of the Dead. Okay. Let's see. Looks like we're doing Buster only this time. Hard shot and slide. Stupid fireballs. Okay.
Well, now I have cut blade. Not sure. Okay, let's see. This stage is pretty questionable so far. And there's a big eye sighting up there. Stupid big eye. Alright, well, what we got next? I don't know. Did I need to raise it? Oh look, it's Skullman. Yeah, that one kind of sucked. Just a little bit. Yeah, it's a little bit. Alright, but we got 3 down, 7 to go, so what is next? Now we got all Sonic 2 bosses. So it's a pseudo boss rush. Okay. I'm already soft locked, so we're gonna have to retry, because okay. I'm already not a fan of this one. So it's a puzzle-esque stage. Okay. Yeah, I don't know about this one. Okay. Not gonna lie, that one was pretty boring. That's my opinion. Alright. Stage 5. About to the halfway point. Verse Blastman, so a boss fight. Maybe. Okay. Son of a bitch. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this one. The pile driver as a default weapon is not the best. Okay. Well, that's something. All right. Let's see. That was mediocre. All right, we are halfway through. Let's see what we get thrown at next. Hard Man Revenge. Okay. I'm hoping for something a little bit tough, then we have a boss fight. Ah, that one sucked. Maybe we'll get something good next. Maybe. Into the dark. Whoa! Alright. We have a full lineup here. Charge shot. I may not need it, but I'm gonna take it. Because we still got 3 other stages? I think I lost track where we're at. Yeah, this is stage 7. Well, I guess I do gotta go to... Whoa! Spike pit! Where's Skull Shield? Oh, wait. There's more than one way to navigate a spark pit. Yeah, I don't have Skull Shield. That's what I thought. Not that I needed to do that, but, you know, still. Who we got? Who we fighting? Spawn Man. Okay. That one was okay. Alright, what are we getting into next? EM Lightning Man stage. Thanks. Oh, that is a long ass title. Alright, what we got? Full lineup again. Alright, going on down. Ooh. Okay. I mean, I'll take it, thank you. Stage's gonna get some brownie points for that. Let's see, what do we got? Anything? Do I chance it? Nah, I don't need it. Oh, Schmucky! Nope. So, quite a few boss fights. Oh boy, oh boy. These sections are always fun. Actually wasn't too terrible. Definitely could have been worse. Okay. I mean, so far, this is a quality stage. Damn it! That was my error. I misjudged that jump. Okay. Did I need to do that? No. All right. Get to this next little section again. Honey! Oh! Okay. Interesting. Alright, what we got next? Looks like we're about close to the end. I too dream of electric sheep. That was actually a pretty good stage. Alright. Getting close to the end. What will it throw at us next? We have Strike of Base. Okay, simple enough lineup. What do we got? Split Roots? Maybe. Let's see. Cotton dog, cotton diggity dog. Nope. That one was meh. Meh. Alright. What's next? Show me what you got. The Escape Volume 2. Version 2. Okay. So we got a puzzle stage of sorts. Okay, so no charge shot. Slide, definitely applicable. Another E-tank. Okay. I see what it did there. Trying to be sneaky. Ow! Damn it. Yeah. Ow. Alright. So, wait. No key there. So... Pseudo-Metroidvania, maybe? Not really? Okay. 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 Let's not go through that again. Hopefully we don't have to go through that again. Okay. we fighting? Who we fighting? Okay. Let's make this escape. Well, and we are done. That one was interesting.
Well, this was certainly another all over the place and wild batch of stages. I really enjoyed this stage. I felt it had a good layout that, while not necessarily requiring some exploration, did give the feeling of some ruins to a degree. The enemy placement was done alright, and realistically, even though I used the ring boomerang quite a bit, it wasn't essential to the overall stage. Boss battle itself was pretty fun. Cramped environment, bomb man, treadmills, and of course spikes. It definitely had a little bit of creative flair, and I appreciate that. I was torn with how I felt about this stage. It has a decent enough layout, although there's definitely some troll moments there, I would say, or traps. For example, the 1-up and that early E-tank. Enemy placement was pretty light, all things given, and of course the power-ups weren't really needed at all in this one. I will give props to the boss fight though, with the environment being uneven territory, that at least mixed it up a little bit. This one was rough. The stage layout was pretty mediocre, and the enemy placement was unnecessarily heavy at points and just questionable at others. You have two boss battles here, one with Cutman and one with Skullman, and neither one was particularly well done. Especially with Skullman, because the way the platforms were set, it made dodging pretty much impossible, and it just overall was not well thought out. This stage was a bit deceptive because I went in expecting a boss rush, and it definitely wasn't that. But at the same time, it wasn't that well done either. So the idea was to recreate the boss battles from Sonic 2, and there were a couple that I recognized, but others not so much. And this was all done with just regular enemies, which was an interesting choice to go with. I will say the boss battle with Shademan was completely unremarkable. It was a standard boss fight. It was nothing special behind it. And I didn't get the feeling that I was doing Sonic 2 style boss fights with this one. This stage was focused on the pile driver as your default weapon, but the problem is the stage itself did not take advantage of this unique and interesting power-up. This one should have been platform heavy with some long jumps that required timing to work with it. Unfortunately, it wasn't there, and let's be honest, the pile driver is not necessarily the best from a combat standpoint. And so when you get to the boss battle, it's pretty average, mediocre at best, and I can see where the thought process was with this one. It's just the execution wasn't there. This was a dumpster fire of a boss battle. You fight Hardman in a very bland arena with a Sniper Joe, some of the Yoku blocks, and flame pillars for good measure. Technically speaking, the needle cannon is your default weapon, but because it fell into the power-up category in this instance, I kind of went with that. This was just a mess from beginning to end. I did not care for it. It was just that. It was a mess. This one was pretty average across the board with a good enough layout and enemy placement. Nothing special, but nothing amazing either. Enemy placement was fine, not much use for the power-ups. And the boss battle at least had a little flair to it with an uneven layout and couple enemies to spice things up a little bit. This one's very middle of the road. Ridiculously long title aside, this was actually a really good stage. I thought the stage layout was done very well. There was a lot of variety in there, and a little bit of exploration as well. It was perfectly balanced in regards to the platforming and the difficulty. The enemy placement was also done quite well. I was very pleased with all that. And the boss battles were actually pretty good. While Springman wasn't anything fancy, both Sparkman and Sheepman had a nice little added flair to it to help them stand out a little bit. I was quite impressed with this one. It was really well done. This was overall a very unremarkable stage. It was a simple move to the right affair with some degree of platforming. Before you get to a boss fight with Napalm Man, that was just meh. And that's really the best way to describe this one. It's just very meh. There wasn't anything about this that really stood out as anything fancy. It's not particularly well designed, and it doesn't take advantage of what bass can do. Overall, this was just a very amateurish stage. This one started off with the impression that it might be a rough one, but quickly turned into something that was better than what I was expecting. The stage layout itself was done well, and enemy placement, while initially pretty cluttered and overwhelming, quickly balanced itself out. The power-ups all got a degree of use here. Well, specifically the jet adapter, hard knuckle, and the jewel shield. Those all played some degree of roles throughout the course of the stage. Unfortunately, the boss battles were all pretty bland. Nightman wasn't anything particularly special, and Crashman was more frustrating than anything else. Overall, though, this one was done pretty well, though. I did enjoy this one.